Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoyed these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today, we're discussing a Leviathan of the Deep, and one of the standouts of the 2000s. This is the Roger Dubuis Sports Activity Watch Easy Diver Chronograph, a timepiece that essentially pioneered a class of one during the 2000s. A postmodernist, almost Dadaist take on both high horology and dive watches. This is anything but a staid and stolid steel diver. This timepiece is designed to be fabulous both above and below the waves. Launched in 2004, the Roger Dubuis Sports Activity Watch series had a number of entrants, of which this and its conventional three-hand counterpart were the dive models. 46 millimeters in stainless steel, this timepiece is finished Geneva Hallmark with exceptional detailing inside and out and exceptional amounts of material. This is the kind of watch that they describe as bold or generously sized. 46 millimeters in diameter, surprisingly slim at 15 millimeters thick. Lug-to-lug, this one measures 58 millimeters. It's like wearing a Royal Oak offshore or a diveable big pilot's watch on your wrist. My wrist at 16 centimeters is probably just slightly too small for this one. I would recommend a 17 centimeter circumference wrist or larger. Now the timepiece is lush in its detailing, and this is truly the double fudge cake with the cream on top. Get a little bit closer and you begin to realize why this watch cost as much as a Midwestern U.S. house back in the early 2000s. Handsomely executed with a panoply of materials, textures, tones, and focal planes. The strap is proprietary and the lug junction triple. As you can see, there's a central lug that helps to keep everything in place and flush to the case, as the look is highly integrated with no daylight showing. You can see there are recesses in the flanks of the hollowed lugs themselves with carbon fiber inserts, and then end pieces constructed of carbon fiber, giving way to a sectioned rubber strap, very thick, natural vulcanized, and solid on the wrist. Underneath, you can see it's Roger Dubuis branded with a dimple style underlay and multiple stationings inside of the clasp. You have 3 incremental adjustment notches, as well as a twin trigger release system that keeps this one resolutely closed. You can see the clasp itself is custom designed for the watch. It's specific to the model. Note that there is a sort of quadrant pattern cut into the facings of the twin trigger release, and even the inside has been decorated with a recurring Roger Dubuis logo motif. Detail is strong with this one. Full deployant clasp, all of high polish, nicely rendered, and you can see quite securely fixed to the opposite side of the strap, which brings us back to the case. Unconventionally executed. There is a satin finish on the flank, which is not in itself unconventional, but the fact that it's entirely vertical rather than longitudinal is uncommon. It contrasts with the polished hood of the case and the hoods of the lugs. And note the image of the original Roger Dubuis Sympathy case in the outline of the case profile on the Easy Diver. You can see a little nod to the 1990s Roger Dubuis right there, but this one is resolutely modern and of the 2000s in style, substance, and character. Note that the strap is held on resolutely by screws, so this one's going nowhere. Screws take a bit longer to remove when swapping straps, but they offer security for a large and expensive watch appropriate. Look at the attention to detail here. As you can see, there's a little bit of an outer facing pattern on the pushers themselves, a combination of a polish and then a spiral inset embossed pattern. They are shouldered screw down chronograph pushers. When you thread them out, you gain access to the Roger Dubuis caliber 56. The crown itself is entirely oversized, deeply and sharply knurled, and easy to grip. So this is an easy watch to set when your hands may be wet, sweaty, or gloved. The bezel action is excellent. You can hear how mechanical and chunky that is. The dial is a gorgeous salmon metallic, and you can see it's been cut deeply and richly to add extra detail and visual animus. You can see that all of the indices are applique white gold and of high polish, and skeletonized hands at center, beautifully blued with differential lume for the hours, minutes, and then the constant seconds. This is a lovely watch. The answer here, when asked, was that more is more, less is not. A broad array of colors, textures, tones, as well as shades. A timepiece, beautiful on the front, beautiful on the back. You may not want this watch. It may not be your style. It might be a bit too much. And that's why Carlos Diaz, who was the principal in the company and also the stylist, had "Just for Friends" placed on the caseback in polished relief. It's only for those who dig the Roger Dubuis style and attitude. Note the relieved and polished outer sectioned profile, a border that frames the center of the caseback. Also, a limited edition of 888 pieces. The watch features what would be known as a CH2770 in Patek speak, or the Lemania 2310, a Bausch. Manual wind, 21 joules, 48-hour power reserve, Geneva Hallmark finish, and you can see the Poincon de Geneve on the half bridge for the balance. Beats away at 18,000 vibrations per hour, adjusted in 5 positions like a chronometer. And you can see it features an overcoil hairspring to help it keep superb time in those 5 adjusted positions. You'll also note it is a column wheel lateral clutch chronograph that is beautiful to behold in motion. You'll also note that the finish is everything you would expect of Geneva Hallmark, with mirrored bevels, perfectly aligned Coach de Geneve, satin finished levers and yoke for the chronograph, as well as black polished screw heads with chamfered slots and a black polished swan's neck fine adjustment mechanism. 300 meters water resistant. This is a watch that brings the goods, and brings them, and brings them, and brings them. It's not for everyone, it's just for friends. This is the Roger Dubuis Easy Diver Chronograph. Roger Dubuis Easy Diver Chronograph. Easy to see by night. Also note the differential loom on the hands at center, with the seconds hand clearly distinct from hours and minutes.